با گرمترین سلام ها به همه شما دوستان عزیز. سودی از برنت هستم. صبح بعد از ظهر و شب خیلی خوب رو براتون آرزو میکنم. دوستان عزیز، در امروز من مهمان عزیزی دارم از فرانس که اسمش امواق هستش و ایشون کار هیلینگ انجام میدن، spiritual teacher هستن. بنابراین بدون اینکه وقت برنامه رو بگیرم مهمان این هفتم رو معرفی میکنم. Hello dear.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation and
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me.
It's lovely to have you. So my audience normally know that I do not want to waste any time because our show is like 15 minutes and we want to use every second of it and be as beneficial as we could. So I would like an introduction from you, of you, to tell us who you are. We all know that you're French. I already said
You
that.
said that. Okay. I'm covered.
So we covered that up. What part of France are you from?
So I lived in Paris, of course, for 15 years, but my family comes from the Pyrenees. So it's at the border from Spain and France.
Okay.
From 1,000 years. So my family comes from quite a bit. And I lived also in the Loire Castle area for all my childhood. So I cover pretty much all of France.
All over France.
All over France. And then talking about geography, I went to live in Spain for 10 years, where I opened a healing center, and we'll get back to that in a few.
Okay, wonderful.
And then I arrived to California, about 4 years ago,
Okay.
to live our dream of helping people, and we'll get back to that. So, presenting me, well, my body responds to a name named Arnaud Saint-Paul, like the saint. And we won't ask my wife if I am a saint or not. I assume I am.
Okay,
and,
we'll leave that out for now.
And so, who am I? Well, I am a being that came here on this earth to help people remember themselves and really awaken to themselves and enlighten themselves again, because they are already that. It's just a matter of getting back to it, or figuring out that indeed we are that beautiful and light being that is written on these documents and books that we all read.
Right.
And I'd say that I had a very special birth that allowed me to keep some connections with all the parts of myself that are not identified to that body. And very easily I came up to become a teacher as a teenager. And as I was writing in another interview yesterday, as people were asking me questions, I answered. And then after a few years, I find out the same answers in the Bhagavad Gita or the Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, or the Ramana Maharishi. So it really flowed out of me, the wisdom maybe that is again in all of us, but I kind of have that here that allows me to get access to it.
Right.
And then in my 20s, I really went on one side to the normal world, working and discovering the mind-related activities, and at the same time studying all the different religions, different authors from Carl Jung to Ramana Maharishi and Neville and many others. And it is so I created a lot of startups in the tech industry, so not really related with spirituality, but nevertheless great teachings and great experiences that allow me at least to understand myself a little bit better and grow or outgrow the different blockages that one has or one creates for itself along the journey towards oneself. And at the same time allow me to discover other parts of myself that I didn't know. And that's really the way I took that journey into entrepreneurship. It is in around 2000 that I discovered energy healing. First on my own, meaning working on myself. How can I, get better and I found a Reiki master that began to work on me, and then he taught me, and then I became a Reiki master very quickly.
And where was that?
That was in France also. Yeah,
Okay.
that was in France.
And the healer or the teacher, was he French?
He was, that's a very good question. I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
Did he look French?
Not exactly,
No.
but anyway.
Okay.
And very quickly it happened that I went to live in Spain. And I opened a healing center to help people grow and faster. And I specialize really in helping women mostly, because at the end of it, they are the most advanced beings.
Women needs more help, right?
No, they are the most advanced beings.
Yeah.
They are the ones that perceive that they need help, and they are ready to ask for help.
Right.
So they have that connection with themselves that allow them to see, to perceive, and to say, okay, I need to change. I need to figure out what's happening there. Guys are a lot more focus on something, and therefore they forget the rest.
Right.
It's okay as well. We need both polarities, but so mostly women, and helping them to rebalance the masculine and feminine that is in all ourselves, to really help them create that that balance that is the right one, so that you can then change faster.
Right.
And what happened quickly was that I was able to channel new energy healing techniques. One that I created named Accidental Integration, which goes beyond what the Reiki offers. It's basically reconnecting the meridians from an energy standpoint, and that allows us to jump through breakthroughs. It's really, we reactivate a network that is not usually used from an energy standpoint again, and at that moment the person really begins to accelerate her own vibration. So it's really a tool for us to be able to change faster, and therefore grow into our own selves and grow in vibration, which allows us to connect faster to our own higher self, right? So it's really a great tool that I use. And along with that, once the person was going through that process, which is 2 sessions, it's like an initiation once in a lifetime, then after that we would work on specific topic that was brought up by her reality, because of course you know that, but all that we have, the reality that we have around us, is just a reflection of us, right? So helping the people that were coming to me to show them that anything that happened, the boss that is bullying her or something else, was just a reflection of an initial issue that she had with guys, of course, naughty boys, that allow her to really, in one session, to really go beyond the blockage that was there and see the next day in her reality the solution of her blockage, meaning that the boss was not anymore bullying, but on the contrary, was more
wow, that's really
favorable.
powerful. So you're saying like one session has so much effects that you can see the transformation happen right away.
Yes. Obviously that doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
The person needs to really feel that it is the right time for her to do it, but when it is possible, yes, even in 1 second it could be possible, but we do need our own catalyzers to be able to make the transformation, to shift from one dimension to another. It's a beautiful journey. We tend at first to want to heal. We have this problem and this problem and this other problem, and as you grow, if you begin to figure out that you still have some problems, but then some other problems can take care of themselves, and you can let go of them a lot more easier than before. And that's the beautiful journey we are all in, to fall in love again with our own self. And that's the key word, being love again, because that's our own nature. our core nature, but we forget it totally at first, and then we grow into it one step at a time, one day after the other. And that's the most beautiful journey there is on this earth. I believe so.
Yes,
least.
You too.
And so to finish to your question, about 4 years ago I came here to California with the idea that we wanted to really amp up the way we help humanity, and creating something that will allow us to touch millions of people, or even billion, so that we can help as many people as we can to raise their own vibration. We can do that on one-on-one. It's awesome. But we have that calling, my wife and I, to really make a difference in the world, and helping as many people as we can to become happier, to become more positive, and even to enlighten themselves. So it is our job and our mission to create the tools to reach out to people, and also create the tools that help them on that journey so that they can really take charge of themselves, become the master that they really are, and connect with all the different parts of themselves that are there, but we tend to forget them again, and again and again. So that's why we created a portal named Heal Through Words, which is offering that to the world. And so far we've been lucky enough to inspire 15 million people, and we're growing
beautiful,
very fast.
Beautiful.
So in a nutshell, I think that's the answer to your question.
Okay, so my next question is, are you guys doing any webinar, telesummit right now?
So yes, actually we are. So within Heal Through Words, we are creating modules that explore a specific topic, whether me or in collaboration with a teacher. And in this case, I met recently a motivational speaker named Daniel Gutierrez, who has worked with the White House, that has 3 books, and really a great guy. And we have worked a seminar named 21 Days to Find the Power Within, which is really innovative in the sense that it starts on May 11th. We take the people that wants to participate in the course. For 21 days, we talk about one question every day, one topic, and they work for one session with Danielle in the morning on that topic, and with me in the afternoon on the same topic. So they have 2 different angles to work out the same topic, and we go over it twice. So it's 10 topics, and then the same 10 topics 10 days after, and it creates a great way for people to understand themselves in a very powerful way. So it's group sessions, of course, online. It's available for, I think, $197, so it's really affordable. And obviously they have access to the replays and email support and all that. And it's really magical. So that's what we're doing in terms of teleseminars right now. There will be more courses available in the next quarter as we're growing. Right now we're focused more on the launch of a service that, so what we do is we create daily inspirational and healing quotes that reach these 15 million people we were talking about earlier, and these healing quotes that have a encoded healing in them allow the people that are using them every day to really become more positive. We even had a woman that was thinking about getting suicide and decided not to, thanks for our quote, and that's beautiful. And so we have created a service now that allows the person to go deeper into herself with a very small quote as well. So it's like taking 5 minutes of your time every day and reading it, feeling it, and then you have a way for you to be able to start your day with another way of being, right?
Right.
And it is really successful because 90% of the people that are doing it now are really getting into a more positive life. And we are opening that to the public now as we speak, with tools again to allow oneself to grow into that love that one is through these words. Because we can heal through words, of course.
Absolutely. So I want to get you back to the webinar. You said 10 days.
Yes, 21 days in total.
So you said 10
topics.
days is going to be 10 topics. In the morning they work with Daniel, in the afternoon with you. And then after 10 days, on day 11, you guys go back to the same topic,
Correct.
day 1. Then that continues for another 10 days.
days.
And what happens on the last day?
On the last day,
21st.
we need to figure it out. No, basically what happens is the first day is all about logistics and stuff like that. So I think mostly it's the first day is about the main questions, like how we're going to work together and so forth, lay out the process so that everything is clear, and then you got 10 and 10 days.
Okay, gotcha.
And for the people here, we can offer a special bonus as well. We figure out how we can work it out, but we would love to do that as well, of course.
Okay. So what is the transformation you have seen? Like people who have already taken this 21-day course.
So to be honest, it is the first time I do it.
Okay.
It's Daniel's process. However, what he has told me and what you can see on our website, because there are some testimonials about it,
right?
People have really been able to go through a deep transformation and finding basically what we're looking for is to touch the heart of people, to help them really reconnect with that power that is within. And I apologize, I'm plagiarize myself, but it's really to find that core essence that we have all within by clearing up the different layers of belief systems that are outdated. And that's why we're going after 10 topics that are really essential, so that the person can really, for each conversation, really go deeper into the origin of the blockage and let it go. One of the things that we're sharing with our audience is a method to change a belief system. It's a mini course that I created, and so we offer that. We give them the method. We then go together towards using the right angles so that they can release whatever they need to release, and the transformation that have been witnessed are really, really powerful. Obviously, it's not like having a master every day at your disposal, but it is a really amazing guidance that allows you to go faster than if you're reading a book or things like that. I think bottom line, what I have seen in all my career is that when you invest in yourself, you get great results. That seems quite obvious. But more importantly, I think it's by investing in yourself, you really believe in your own value, therefore you trust yourself, therefore you allow yourself to make the change. And that's really a key principle that most of us forget.
Sure.
And that's why we're trying here to provide a huge value at a very affordable price to start that journey towards oneself.
Beautiful. So if you allow me, I would like to get back to your childhood. Tell us about your upbringing. Do you think your parents, your mom, dad, close family had anything to do with your awakening or do you think it just happened automatically?
Oh, I mean, bottom line, they are in their own way, right? So let me be clear, I'm the only one that is spiritual awakened in my family.
How many sisters and brothers do you
have? I have one brother and one sister.
Okay.
And they look at me funny, but it's okay.
Older or younger?
Thankfully, they are in France. No, but I mean, one of my stories is that when I was 5 years old, I was talking about the bicycles that people have in their heads, feeling already the thoughts of people around me. So I had by my own nature that access to that information, and that's awesome. My family was there as a protector, and also allowing me to really grow into that being that I am today, and I'm really thankful and grateful for that. They were also, of course, a revelator in the sense that I was going against them, right, in some way. So that allows me to go beyond. I had, when I was 15, that I have the word in Spanish that won't help us. That thirst.
The thirst
of finding myself and knowing myself. And that is because obviously my father was saying, do that and do this and do that. And thankfully he was there to do that so that I can go and find myself elsewhere. So
would you say, like when you were age 5 or 6, were you free, your environment, to explore, or was there a lot of do that, don't do that?
There was a lot of do that, don't do that, of course. I mean, when you're 5, thankfully, it's a little bit easier. We were fortunate enough to live in the country, so I had a lot of freedom in terms of going wherever I wanted.
Right.
But I think, bottom line, my journey has always been inside, and I have never been someone that goes, into sports or exploring the outer world, and more exploring the inner world. And that is also thanks to them, because you go, the inner world begins with a book, or begins with music, like classical music and stuff like that allows you to go inside.
So what was the book? You mentioned a book. What was the first book that you felt like it kind of moved you?
Well, I never read spiritual books before I was 20-something.
Okay.
But so in France we have an author named Balzac. You have to be French to know him. It's really famous. It's from the 1800th century, and he's an absolutely amazing author that was exploring the character of people through the different adventures of noble X, noble Y, and all their, but really allowing us to understand how the person was working in herself. And that's the kind of advanced psychological studies that I was doing through these books. But also Tolkien. It's another book, the Lord of the Ring, that was amazing. I think one of the books that is absolutely amazing to me a little bit after, when I'm in my 20s, is a book from Ramana Maharishi, which is Who Am I? That's one of the most mind-boggling and literally speaking book that I ever read, along with the Kabbalah and the Bhagavad Gita and so forth, but from a human author that was really amazing.
So tell us about your teenagehood. You said your sort of spiritual awakening started when you were a teenager. How did that happen?
Very excellent question. I don't know. No, what I do know, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I at that time, I was imposed to attend church and that kind of things, and I didn't like it. And I knew that I couldn't find God there, but I could find it in the forest.
Right.
I could find it elsewhere.
Right.
I didn't need to go to a specific place to find it. I knew that. It's just,
it's just your inner knowing.
Exactly.
That tells you.
And out of that grew something that said, okay, you have to know yourself. No other way around. You have to know yourself. And therefore, I went on my own journey in that direction. And hasn't been really easy because my parents didn't really understand it. But that's what happened. And how did it manifest? Well, all our childhood was spent in the Loire-Castle area, which is the center of France, so in the country, as I said. And I had to go for school in Paris when I was 17, so it was easier for me to happen that time. And also, fortunately, of course, I had some friends that had existential questions and allowed me to find out that I had deeper levels inside that I don't know where it come from, but that's where it was.
So your friends started asking you spiritual questions at age 17, you would say?
I don't remember if they were really spiritual in a sense, because probably I didn't know what spiritual was at that time.
Right.
Maybe a little bit still, because at that time it was talking about God. I'm from a Catholicism upbringing, so maybe there was some part, but at least it was a profound and deep questions about existence and stuff like that. So yes, I had a very good friend in the south of France with whom I exchanged a lot on these topics, and that allowed me really to find, after the fact, that I had that knowledge that was available anytime someone asks a question. I don't have it necessarily. Usually it's just when the question arises, the answer is, and not the other way around.
Right.
At least that's how I live it. Which is funny now that when I teach to groups, I don't necessarily know what happens in that afternoon. I just present myself there, and the groups and the answer and the question comes from the group.
Right.
This is, to me, the purest way of serving.
Yeah.
And I am fortunate enough to have been able to do it quite early.
Yeah, so we can kind of say like a state of surrendering and allowing.
Yes.
That everything is just takes its course and takes its place. Yeah, I can relate to that, because when I did my seminar in Dubai, I was sitting on the plane, and the gentleman who was sitting next to me said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Dubai." "Oh, why are you going there?" I said, "I'm doing a 3-day seminar." And he asked me, he said, "So what is the seminar about?" I said, "I don't know." And he was like, shocked. "You're going to do a 3-day seminar and you don't know what?" I said, "No, I really don't know. No plans, no nothing." And it's just like when we let ourselves go, and it's just like some other power is just taking over, and everything goes really smooth at the time. So coming back to you, tell me about the first healer. How did you end up with that healer?
You mean as a client?
Yes, yes.
At that time, I think I had gone through a bankruptcy of one of my companies, and so didn't feel very good. Trying to figure out what is it about me and not working, whatever.
Right.
And again, in my life, things have been happening. It's like a journey where you go every day and you wake up and you say, okay, what's going to happen today? And you just go through the hoops, maybe, and something presents itself and you did not expect it, and you go that route and you explore and what it is. And most of the time you say, okay, shouldn't have gone that way, going the other. And I don't remember exactly the details, but it's basically all of a sudden someone told me, you should meet that person. What I remember is I was in Toulouse, which is in the south of France. I was passing by Toulouse, going through Toulouse, and someone told me, you should meet X while you're there. And I was there for a few hours. It was on the 1st of 2001, I think. So 1st of January. And he gave me a session. It was so amazing for me because obviously it was already easy for me.
Did you know this person is a healer? Did they mention the word healer?
Yeah. He was a Reiki healer,
okay.
And he was going to do me a healing session. And so the results were so amazing to me that I said, okay, I want more. And I began that process of finding out more and finding more healers and seeing how it works and discovering, which I love to do. And in a few months, I was able to become a practitioner, first level 1 and then level 2 and then level 3 and 4. And it came so easy to me that then I went to work with a kinesiologist. That was amazing. She's in Paris. So if someone is in Paris, I'll gladly share her details because she's really good. She's probably really booked as well, but she's good. And it's really amazing. I mean, obviously, one has to resonate with one method, right? And,
exactly.
And that's really the key. In any case, not everybody will resonate perfectly with energy healing.
Right.
But when you resonate with it, I mean, you can go very far with it. That's for sure. So it happened by accident, which of course we do know that there's no accidents anyway. But it's like the same. So my life has been made of a lot of accidents. Another one, again, between quotes, just to make sure. Another one that is funny was that, so in France at that time in the 80s, we had to go to the militaries and have to spend 1 year doing the military stuff, which is not really compatible with me, as you might imagine. And I had to go. I didn't have a choice. It's that or prison, basically, in a nutshell. And so I had to go. I went. And so it was the way it is structured is you have 3 months of training and then 9 months of serving whatever you had to serve. And the accident happened that all of a sudden I was chosen to attend a military school, which was the highest military school, which serves the elite, the intellectual elite of France, École Polytechnique. And I was there I was assigned to do some programming, and so computer programming, which I love to do anyway, and to be able to play piano and ride horses, and so it was absolutely amazing, paradise from that standpoint. So yeah, we have so many gifts that are waiting for us every single day. It's just for us to allow it to happen. And I think that's one thing that we need to remind ourselves, that whatever the circumstances, they don't matter. What matters is how you are. It's your being that matters.
That's right.
So if you're open to it, if you're open to anything will happen. It will always be for the best.
Right.
Always, without exception. So even if it's a real accident, let's make it that way. Even that, and I had a real accident like 2 or 3 years back. When it happened, I knew it was kind of a rebirth for me, like a real rebirth. Because again, my birth was a little bit difficult, so I had to go through that process. Hey, it's okay. Because it allowed me to release energies that therefore allow me to experience new stuff that I couldn't have done before that.
Right.
So the world is really an onion made of energies through which we have to go through, because one, it's fun if we want to, and two, it allows us to really get to the core, which is again that love that we all are.
Right.
That I was mentioning at first in our conversation.
I have a question. At the beginning of the show, you mentioned that after you took the Reiki 1, 2, 3, 4, then you came up with your own method of healing. How
Yes.
did that came about?
Well, again, there's several circumstances at the same time. It was at the same time a channeling, and also different people that came up with bits of information that I put together. One person on the internet, another that I have recently met, with whom I was working a lot, and all that together really made sense to me, and began to apply it with people, and it made such a difference in their lives that I began to create it, to give it a form, a shape,
Right.
so that we can package it, or and I was fortunate enough to not only give it to people but also to teach it, and train some teachers around that, healers, and it worked so well that we had to do it.
Okay, beautiful. So for some of my audience who might not be too familiar with channeling, explain when you said some of it was channeled.
Channeling, so it's a word that we are using to identify a specific state of oneself. When I'm talking to you, or when I'm thinking, I am basically connecting with myself and creating that conversation that is expressing part of myself. What we call channeling is expressing the totality of oneself, meaning all the different layers, from the higher self to the lower self, even if they are one and the same at the end. But and we are basically allowing information that comes from a higher place, or from a higher level of vibration, and therefore probably a higher level of understanding, because it's like basically looking at yourself from 10,000 or 30,000 feet and seeing the whole thing. I mean, right now I'm just seeing that table and that chair, and that's the only thing I see. But so if you're telling me I'm on the earth, what is it? I don't see. I just see the table and the chair.
Right.
But if I go 30,000 feet, then all of a sudden I know what earth is, because I can see the curve and the horizon and so forth. Channeling is basically the same. It allows you, you can access that place where you have access to such information. We have access to absolutely everything in the universe if we listen intently. That's the thing. We usually don't, because we're so identified to all that is around us, and we tend to forget about what is inside us. But nevertheless, it is there. So by channeling the group, we were talking about that earlier, meaning accessing the higher self of the group, of the person with whom you're talking, to receive the information. And that's what I was doing in sessions as well, talking about that person that was bullied by her boss earlier.
Right.
I was really accessing her higher self, channeling her to provide the right approach so that she can release it. And that's how it works. Getting access to the totality of that being, getting the information, being able to outspeak it, and therefore allow the healing to happen.
So when you go to this state of channeling, do you feel a little like different in the physical body?
Many people are, entering trances, or need to close their eyes, or stuff like that. In my case, no. It's just I connect with the person, and off I go. It's very natural, and we can do that. I mean, I'm not exceptional. Everybody can do it. It's just that we don't necessarily choose to do it, and it's okay as well.
Right.
We need diversity around ourselves. but it's available to anyone, really. So the way I feel it is, it's just I'm probably using my third eye, what we call, the chakra that is here, and I just naturally connect with that part and of myself, another sense that allows me to receive that energy signature and translate it into words. I think bottom line, or energy healing if need be.
Right.
Of course, both at the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Most probably.
Yeah. Do you see individual clients, or are you basically working groups?
No, so what we try to do, so as I said, when I was in Spain, I worked with individuals and then worked on workshops with groups. Here in California, what we have is that mission to really reach millions of people.
Bigger
and I
audience.
really literally speak about millions of people and even hundreds of millions. So what we're trying to create is a place where we can touch as many people as we can, as I said earlier, and offer to the people that really want to make a difference possibility to do one-on-ones or group sessions, whether through webinars on a specific topic, that's one possibility, or even workshops, 3 days workshops. The last offer that we have is a 3-day workshop where we invite a couple or an individual to our home, and they stay with us 3 days. And we work on balancing their feminine and masculine side with my wife. So it's really exclusive. It's not a lot of people,
Right.
but it's so precise and so transformative that it's worth it, right? And it's very rewarding for us and for the people that work with us. And we plan to do workshops, bigger workshops by the end of this year. In LA or in Sedona or other places. We are building, so we have that brand Heal Through Words, which we slowly build, and we want to really offer all the different tools so that not only us but other practitioners will help us as well to create something that helps really the world. So we're there working on it, and
Yes.
we have yet a lot to do.
Of course. So tell me about your healing. What happened when you said you moved to Spain and started a healing center?
So, well, so I couldn't. I had so much success in working with energy healing for myself that I couldn't keep it for myself. Basically, that was the idea. And so I created a center named Recrear in Spanish, which means recreate oneself, and began to work with different practitioners and magazines there so that people knew about our center in Madrid. And very quickly we had a clientele coming and transformations happening. And what I did, in that work that I did, I was able to work on the new accidental integration that I told you about earlier, and began to practice that and got amazing results. So it was really, everything became natural, meaning from the results came people that wanted to be taught about the same practice. So I began to work with them, and I began to give conferences in Spain, in France, in the UK. And at that time, also from an individual standpoint, I had 2 kids with my first wife, after a few years, we had to separate with my first wife, and therefore I stopped my work in Spain and had to go through a internal process to let go of everything. And after that happened, then I decided I have to be in California and go to the next level, which is to help people remember they are loved, and do it the biggest way I can. And
Beautiful.
It has been absolutely amazing the last few years. So of course, yes, I can help a lot of people, but I still need to work on some stuff on my own, of course. And so obviously, when I came here, I began to work again in tech for a few years. And obviously it didn't work out because my calling is elsewhere.
Right.
And when I decided that it's over, I dedicate myself now to being a spiritual teacher and a real one and being there for everybody. Obviously, everything happened at the same time. So what was working a little bit, but not too much in the spiritual work that I was doing with my wife began to flourish immensely in the past few months. And so we're very fortunate to want to work together with my wife, which is amazing. And second, to really see our child to grow so much and help so many people at the same time. We're really, really grateful for that.
Beautiful. Congratulations, dear. Our time is up, and I know we still have... That's what happened when you have an interview with me. Time flies. There's so much more that I would love to cover with you, so if you would let us know when would be the next time.
Yes,
I would
love to
have you as a guest here. Thank you so much for your time. So tell our audience where they can find you, information, website, email address.
So there are two different websites. One is arnaudsaintpaul.com. So Arnaud is ARNAUD Saint-Paul.com. Or the other, maybe easier, is Heal Through Words. So Heal, HEALTHRUWORDS.com. Email, I think the easiest is info@healthroughwords.com. What else can I...
Website?
So the first one, http arnaudsaintpaul.com.
That is the website.
That's the website, or the other is healthroughwords.com.
They both websites?
Yes, both websites.
And they can send you emails through that?
Yes, there's a contact page there, or my email again is info@healthroughwords.com as well.
Beautiful. Would you like to give out a phone number? That is not necessary.
I don't have it. Yes, hold on. I have it here. I don't have it in my head. That's the problem. So,
yes.
812
area code?
Yes.
Okay.
827 8280.
8280. Beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much, Saint-Paul. دوستان عزیز، مرسی از اینکه تا این لحظه با ما بودین و بعد اینکه این برنامه میره روی یوتیوب چنل من سودی یزدی سودی برنت، فیسبوک سودی برنت. تا برنامه سه‌شنبه آینده. I love you.
Bye.
Thank you.
یا